Hey guys, Wisconsin Cattle Feeder here. Haven't done any videos or updates in quite a while. Didn't really feel that anybody wanted to watch me push snow or play in the mud or work in the shop. But as you can see, it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day. We are attempting to get some stuff done, getting ready to do field work. Few updates. We are end of April. We have some manure left to haul. Our liquid pit, which is new to us, will need to be pumped before harvest. We are still trying to make bedding for next fall. So basically we have done nothing in the fields. As you can see, it is still kind of wet out here, but we are indeed trying to get things ready to go so that when the weather does change, we can do what we have to do day and night. But today, we have a little thing called manure to haul. This is what's left of our stockpile from this winter. Typically we don't stockpile manure. Our bedding packs we try to spread all winter long, but January and February the snow was so deep we could not get out with a spreader. So we had over 70 loads in this pile, and we are down to, I believe we can do it in 10 today. So give it a little action, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so manure hauling is very, very monotonous and boring. Hopefully I won't bore you with this video too much. As I said, typically we try to haul our manure as we produce it in the wintertime. We don't have any spreading restrictions at this time. But January and February were pretty awful as far as winter went. At times we had probably close to 3 feet of snow, which with this tractor, the 7210R, pulling around this Myers VB 750, we are struggling sometimes in good conditions, let alone when there's a lot of snow to contend with, because we are hauling approximately 30,000 pounds every load, plus the spreader weight, plus the tractor weight. Trying to drag that through the snow. We don't farm in flat territory, so we are contending with hills and whatnot. So as far as the spreader and tractor go, like I said, it's a 7210R John Deere. We leased this tractor starting, I believe it was a year ago in March. So the sole purpose of us leasing this 7210R John Deere was to haul manure. It is 210 horse, obviously 4-wheel drive. It has the 31 mile per hour transmission in it, which according to our dial display, it does 33 miles an hour. We were originally intending on using our VMAX spreader that we had, but it just became, obviously it was not going to be big enough, even doing 31 miles an hour. So that's when we traded up into the Myers VB 750. Like I said, holds 750 bushels, approximately 30,000 pounds every load. It hauls twice as much as we were hauling before, and I don't have the total tally of the loads yet. I have to work on that, but we do haul since chopping season last year. I'm going to guess, including stockpile, we've hauled almost 400 loads with this spreader and tractor. So it has saved us an immense amount of time. A lot of our manure gets hauled 5 miles from home. So right now, even with 31 mile per hour transmission, it's about 45 minutes a round trip. Obviously we do have some fields closer, but otherwise, you know, the time it took us to haul those 400 loads would be basically double, because we're hauling double. So the question always is, when somebody starts looking at expanding, everybody talks about manure. It's one of the first questions that always comes to people's minds is, well, what are you going to do with all the manure? I never really truly understood that question a whole lot. Obviously we had put some thought into manure and what we were going to do with it, but the volume of manure that we have was a little bit startling to me when we started actually having to move it around. So we are going to cover pretty much all of 400 to 500 acres this spring, which is all of our corn ground, some of our bean ground. So it has reduced our fertilizer needs by almost 3/4. Basically, we just need to put on some additional nitrogen, and our 200 bushel corn crop is good to go. So yes, it's a byproduct or waste product, but it is also something that is a necessary evil of having animals, and it is also reducing our cash outlay. So it is very important to our operation. One thing this spreader does have that I ordered with it is it does have a scale system. When we are loading, it is adding up just like a TMR mixer scale. When I get back into the cab here, I can push print. It sends it to a printer, prints out a little display roll for me. Those numbers then go back to my office, and we pin them to the fields that those loads got applied to. So we can track pretty accurately what nutrients we are spreading. We do take samples of our manure and send it in for nutrient analysis. That way we have, between the weights and the analysis, we know almost exactly what we're spreading on these fields.
which is very important. We don't want to over-apply the nutrients because one, it's wasteful, two, it's harmful to the environment. And we want to make sure that we're getting enough out there. So that has allowed us to do that. I am hoping at some point to do a little bit of research and be able to pair those scale numbers with a application map on our GPS system, so that I don't have to do it manually. I have not really done much research on that. I know the capabilities are there. I'm pretty certain we have those capabilities with this tractor. It's just a matter of somebody saying, hey, this is how you do it. So the other thing we deal with a lot and gets kind of frustrating when we have to haul a lot of loads, both of feed and of manure, is a lot of our ground is on a state highway, a very busy state highway. So the best time for us to work on this state highway is between 11, 12 o'clock at night to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. After that, everybody starts getting back up for work, and traffic, almost like clockwork, picks up. So it does make things a little more interesting, a little more dangerous. That's why whenever I see on Facebook somebody posting something about giving farmers space and giving us time to do what we need to do, we don't like being out here any more than anybody else does. We're slower than everybody else. I know that everybody gets impatient, but please, please, please just give us time to do what we need to do. It's just the way it is. Not all farmland is out on some backcountry road. Sometimes a lot of it ends up on a state highway. So field conditions are not all that great. Given the weather we've had, they're not bad. The surface is fairly dry. We are probably kicking up some dust. Yesterday we got shut down. We didn't get probably a tenth or two of rain, which made everything greasy and slimy, hard to get around. I actually took a pretty good ride the last load here when I decided to finally quit. The problem is, typically we are planting corn by May 1st. I don't have my calendar for me, but I believe May 1st is on next Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're at the end of April. We have not started any field work. So it's getting late, and the latest forecast is that we are potentially going to get about 4 inches of snow tomorrow. So everybody's trying to push things along a little bit to get done what they can get done. I know there are some guys trying to make some bedding right now. My biggest goal was to try and get this manure pile hauled out. So we have enough bedding to make it through till fall if we did not get the weather to make any more this spring. Obviously, we like to try and make it, because sometimes we don't get the fall weather either, and then it puts us in a real bind. So we are making tracks, we're making ruts. When we started taking over the farm 5 years ago, I sold all of our tillage equipment. Like I said before, we farm in a pretty hilly area. I didn't feel that tillage was something we should be doing, and currently I am either renting or leasing or buying back a couple pieces of tillage equipment because it became necessary for us to do the things we had to do. Last fall's harvest was wet. We were making tracks and compaction. This spring has been wet, but we have to do what we have to do sometimes. So unfortunately, probably 50% of our corn acres are going to get worked this spring. We are not going to do any deep tillage of any sort. Hopefully just run a soil finisher over most of it to knock the ruts out. Also, I feel that incorporating our manure gets us better bang for our buck, essentially, getting it down where the microbes can work on it. So cattle farming has changed my views on cropping. Ultimately, it would be nice to be 100% no-till, where we're not tilling any of the soil at all. And row crop guys that are strictly row crop guys can do that, but we don't have that luxury. Like I said, our main fertilizer source is manure, and we have to get it applied because it just has to get out of our way at the farm. So necessary evils, but it could be worse. We're not making any deep ruts today or anything. So the sun is shining, we're going to take advantage of it, and hopefully the next week and a half's forecast of all rain changes. But I look back through my Facebook memories about a week ago, and we didn't start planting until May 18th last year. So we were nervous then, we're nervous now, but it all got done. And we will obviously continue to get everything done. Sometimes it's just not as timely as we'd like to be, and sometimes we have to do things we don't like to do. So, like I said, the sun's shining, so we'll take advantage of that when we can.